Imagine a world locked in a struggle for supremacy. Two powers, each formidable, clash in a series of epic confrontations that span over a century. This was the reality of the Punic Wars, a historical drama pitting the Roman Republic against the Carthaginian Empire. These weren't mere skirmishes, they were titanic struggles that would decide the fate of the ancient Mediterranean world. The very name Punic echoes the ancient roots of this conflict. Derived from the Latin word punicus, it points to the Carthaginians' Phoenician ancestry, a people known for their maritime prowess and commercial savvy. From 264 to 146 BCE, these two powers locked horns in three devastating wars, each one escalating the stakes higher. These weren't just wars for territory or resources, they were existential battles for survival and dominance. The victor would claim control of the Mediterranean, shaping the course of history for centuries to come. The loser? They faced utter annihilation, their legacy erased from the annals of time. Let us delve into the epic battles, cunning strategies, and unforgettable heroes that defined this era. The seeds of conflict between Rome and Carthage were sown long before the first swords clashed. Both powers cast long shadows across the Mediterranean, destined to collide. The flashpoint arrived in 264 BCE, ignited by a local dispute on Sicily. Messana appealed to Rome for help, leading to world-altering consequences. Thus began the First Punic War, lasting over 2 decades. Rome adapted to naval warfare, developing the corvus. Rome secured key victories, proving their strength at sea. Rome emerged victorious, claiming Sicily as its first overseas province. The Second Punic War, a conflict etched into the annals of history, would witness the rise of one of the greatest military minds the world has ever known. Hannibal Barca. This wasn't just another war, it was a personal vendetta, fueled by the humiliation of Carthage's defeat in the First Punic War. Hannibal, driven by a burning desire for revenge, devised a plan so audacious that it seemed ripped from the pages of legend. He would take the war to Rome itself, not by sea, but by land, crossing the treacherous Alps, a feat deemed impossible by many. In 218 BCE, Hannibal set out from New Carthage, modern-day Cartagena, Spain, with a formidable army, including war elephants, and embarked on his perilous journey. The Alps proved to be a formidable adversary, claiming the lives of many of Hannibal's soldiers and animals. Yet the Carthaginian general's resolve did not waver. He emerged from the mountains, battered but not broken, and descended upon an unsuspecting Italy. What followed was a series of stunning victories for Hannibal. He outmaneuvered and crushed Roman legions at Trebia, Trasimene, and most famously, at Cannae, in 216 BCE. Cannae, considered a masterpiece of military tactics, saw Hannibal encircle and annihilate a much larger Roman army, sending shockwaves throughout the Roman world. These triumphs cemented Hannibal's reputation as a military genius, a leader who could snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Hannibal's military genius lay not just in his battlefield tactics but also in his strategic brilliance. He understood that to defeat Rome, he couldn't rely solely on military victories. He needed to break Rome's spirit, to chip away at its alliances, and turn its own strengths against it. Hannibal's strategy was multifaceted. First, he aimed to exploit the diverse ethnicities within the Roman Republic, hoping to incite rebellions and weaken Rome's hold on its territories. Second, he sought to avoid direct confrontations with Roman legions whenever possible. He knew his resources were limited, and he couldn't afford a war of attrition. Instead, he opted for lightning-fast maneuvers, ambushes, and surprise attacks, keeping the Romans off balance and exploiting their weaknesses. Hannibal excelled at using the terrain to his advantage. He would choose his battlefields carefully, forcing the Romans to engage him on his terms, where his superior cavalry and tactical acumen could be brought to bear. Furthermore, Hannibal understood the importance of logistics. He kept his army supplied by foraging, raiding Roman granaries, and accepting support from disgruntled Italian cities that defected to his side. For over a decade, Hannibal remained a thorn in Rome's side, his name whispered with a mixture of fear and grudging admiration. He had brought the mighty Roman Republic to its knees, but could he deliver the final blow? Section 5. Rome's Resilience, the Fabian Strategy. Facing the specter of defeat, Rome turned to a new leader and a new strategy. Quintus Fabius Maximus Verrucosus, later known as Cunctator or the Delayer, recognized the futility of confronting Hannibal head-on. Fabius implemented a war of attrition, a strategy that would later bear his name, the Fabian strategy. He knew that time was on Rome's side. Rome possessed vast manpower reserves and a robust logistical network, advantages that Hannibal, fighting far from home, could not match. Fabius avoided pitched battles, instead opting to shadow Hannibal's movements, harassing his supply lines, and engaging in skirmishes only when the odds were overwhelmingly in Rome's favor. This approach, though frustratingly effective, was deeply unpopular among many Romans. They yearned for a decisive victory, a swift end to Hannibal's reign of terror. However, Fabius understood that patience and discipline were the keys to defeating the Carthaginian general. He would bleed Hannibal's forces dry, slowly but surely, until the Carthaginian war machine ground to a halt. The Fabian strategy bought Rome precious time, allowing it to rebuild its armies, secure its allies, and eventually turn the tide of the war. It was a testament to Rome's resilience, its ability to adapt and evolve in the face of adversity. Section 6. The Fall of Carthage, the Third Punic War. The Second Punic War ended with a Roman victory at Zama in 202 BCE, a battle orchestrated by a rising star in the Roman military Scipio Africanus. Hannibal, recalled from Italy to defend his homeland, was defeated, his dreams of Carthage's triumph shattered. Although defeated, Carthage was allowed to exist, albeit as a shadow of its former self. However, the seeds of Rome's paranoia had been sown. The memory of Hannibal's invasion, the fear that Carthage might one day rise again, lingered in the Roman psyche. In 149 BCE, fueled by a mixture of fear, greed, and political opportunism, Rome launched the Third Punic War. This time, there would be no Hannibal to rally the Carthaginian defense. Outnumbered and outmatched, Carthage fought bravely, but it was a lost cause. After a 3-year siege, Roman forces led by Scipio Aemilianus, the grandson of Scipio Africanus, breached the walls of Carthage. The once proud city, a beacon of trade and culture, was sacked and burned, its surviving inhabitants sold into slavery. The Third Punic War marked the end of Carthage as a major power. Rome, having eradicated its rival, stood triumphant, its dominion over the western Mediterranean unchallenged. The Punic Wars were over, but their legacy would resonate for centuries to come. Section 7. Key players shaping the course of history. The Punic Wars were not merely clashes of armies. They were also arenas where the destinies of individuals became intertwined with the fate of nations. Hannibal Barca, Scipio Africanus, and Fabius Maximus were key figures in this epic conflict. Hannibal's daring crossing of the Alps and tactical brilliance at Cannae are legendary. Scipio Africanus adopted Hannibal's strategies and defeated him at Zama. Fabius Maximus's patience and discipline wore down Hannibal's forces. These leaders shaped the outcome of the Punic Wars. Section 8. A World Transformed. The Legacy of the Punic Wars. The Punic Wars were a watershed moment in ancient history, irrevocably altering the balance of power in the Mediterranean and beyond. Rome, emerging victorious from these titanic struggles, would use its newfound dominance to forge an empire that would span 3 continents. The influx of wealth and resources from conquered territories fueled Rome's expansion, transforming it from a regional power into a dominant force in the ancient world. The Punic Wars also had a profound impact on Roman society and politics. The constant warfare led to the rise of a powerful military aristocracy, which would play an increasingly influential role in Roman politics. The wars also led to significant social and economic changes, as the influx of slaves from conquered territories disrupted traditional Roman society. However, the Punic Wars were not just about Roman triumph. They were also a story of Carthaginian resilience, innovation, and ultimately tragedy. Carthage, a maritime superpower, a hub of trade and culture, was utterly destroyed, its legacy largely erased by the victors. The Punic Wars serve as a reminder of the cyclical nature of history, the rise and fall of empires, and the enduring impact of conflict on the course of human civilization. Section 9. Join the journey. Explore more history with us. The Punic Wars, with their epic battles, cunning strategies, and larger-than-life figures, offer a captivating glimpse into the ancient world. But this is just one chapter in the vast and intricate tapestry of history. If you found this exploration of the Punic Wars fascinating, we invite you to delve deeper into the annals of the past with us. Subscribe to our channel and join a community of history enthusiasts eager to uncover the mysteries, explore the forgotten stories, and unravel the complexities of our shared human heritage. Don't just read about history, experience it. Hit that subscribe button and get ready for your next historical adventure.